It is only a drill.
Please help us,
but it feels awfully real.
What I'm doing right now is just checking you for contamination.
It's close to real as you can get. The suits are bulky and big. Communications are always bad.
Relax, we're going to help you.
The simulated terrorist chemical attack happens deep inside an abandoned West Virginia mountain pass. Trainers hate the name, but many visitors call it the Tunnel of Terror.
It's not the Tunnel of Terror, it's the Tunnel of Training.
Terrifying training. The terrorists created a diversion with a chemical spill, but the real nightmare is inside the truck. 3 hours into the drill, investigators still have not found a 40-kiloton atomic explosive, more powerful than the bomb that leveled Hiroshima.
You know, the imagination of the terrorist is the only thing that limits how horrible it could be. There could be any kind of chemical release. It could be a nerve agent. It could be sarin gas.
The victims are just role-playing. A suspected terrorist jackknifes a truck in the Lincoln Tunnel and flees. The hazmat crews don't exactly rush in. At first, they pass right by suffering victims, not wanting to remove them and possibly contaminate others. That is exactly what happened when terrorists dumped sarin gas in the Tokyo subway system.
You really need to know what the agent is before you move the people. In Tokyo, an awful lot of people were exposed by moving victims and handling victims.
The work is excruciatingly slow.
It's definitely not like the movies. It's real life, and it's real hard, and it's real slow.
And I've been bleeding for like 30 minutes now, and if I was really bleeding, I would be dead.
Most would have perished in the time it took for chemists to figure out what chemical the terrorists had used.
This is one of the tricky agents we were going to use the first day, and then we decided to see how good the team really was. It's very hard to detect.
We were getting nothing on the readings. Carbon monoxide is what we were getting.
They have already trained more than 4,000 first responders here in this remote West Virginia tunnel, including some of the soldiers that had to search the caves in Afghanistan. But so far, few, if any, New York rescue workers have been here. The reason?
And they're on call every day, and they're already working 12-hour shifts. It's just physically impossible for them to break away.
This chemical and nuclear attack isn't the only horror they offer here. There's a hidden sarin gas lab, a 2-car subway to attack, even a rubble room. It's so real, it traumatized one rescue worker.
A fellow who was at New York on the World Trade Center had to stop, and he paused for a moment, and we thought he was ill. And he was just remembering the Trade Center, and he said, this just brings back so many memories.
You can radio back the license plate.
The Tunnel of Terror is a bargain compared to most government-funded programs. Just $27 million to run it over the last few years. But Congress hasn't decided whether to spend more next year, even as police and rescue crews need it more than ever. As for that ticking nuclear nightmare, the training team's Geiger counters finally found it, just minutes before it would have leveled Manhattan. Everyone practicing here, praying they'll never really need what they learned in the tunnel. In Standard, West Virginia, Andy Field, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.